I'm just curious, what language do you think?
English,
English.
mostly. But sometimes in Russian. But it's like what I'm thinking about. Like if I'm watching, like if I'm listening to Russian, then maybe I'll start thinking a bit in Russian. But just, I actually thought about it, like, I don't think I think at all. I think things just like
There's our clip for this episode.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Deus Ex Comedian. My name is Ryan Bussell. I'll be your host. I am an American living in Sweden since 2006 and a comic since 2011. On this podcast, I'll be talking to comics who have retired, or they're taking a long break, or they simply quit the grind and they're happy to perform just a handful of times per year. So what made them slow down or even stop performing altogether? Is there anything about the grind that they miss? Most importantly, without approval from drunk strangers, how instead do they fill that dark hole inside where a soul should be? Let's find out. Well, my guest this week, from the Russian house mafia, Jana Sabanova.
Hello.
It's good to see you again.
That's good to see you. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. The last time I saw you, we spent way too much time walking in the cold and rain.
Yes, but we had no choice because it was Corona and you can only socialize outside.
That's true.
Very nice.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yes. You seem very relaxed, very, very natural. So, you're from Russia originally?
Yes. Born in St. Petersburg. And I moved to Sweden when I was 13.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
Very nice.
It's very nice. And you did stand for a while, but it's been a while since you performed last.
Yes. It's been probably 3 years since I performed last. And I think my last performance was... I don't remember where my last performance was. It was some small place on Söder.
Okay.
Really tiny.
And would you say now that you're officially retired, like you're an ex comedian?
Right now it feels like I'm probably an ex-comedian.
Why right now? Like, do you feel like you could go back to it?
Yeah, if some tragedy happens or something.
They need to laugh at?
Yes.
I see.
Because that's how it works.
How long were you active?
Let's see, I started when I was 2011, I think I started.
Okay,
And
same
then-
as me.
No, you started before me, then I must have started 2012. Because when I met you, you were supporting Eva when she was on Bungee.
Right, so that was 2012. So one year.
Yeah, and that's the year I started.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's when I started. Then I did it for maybe about 2 or 3 years. And then I quit for 2 or 3 years. And then I came back and did it for another year or 2. And then I quit again.
Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. So, like, what made you want to start in the first place?
It looked very easy. But it wasn't. But that's what got me to start it, is I was watching a lot of Comedy Central one summer. And I thought, hey, I could do that. That doesn't seem so hard. So that's what made me want to try.
Are you often drawn to things just because they look easy?
No.
Okay, so alright, so there's probably more to Sam's appeal than just that it was easy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember.
Okay.
I just thought people always laughed at me and they said I was funny, so I thought, hey, I'm funny. Yeah, alright, let's do this. Let's try this, who knows?
Okay.
And then, yeah. I don't know, I just thought. I mean, it looked fun, but it also looked easy. It looked like something I could do. Other things look fun, but I'm like, I'm not in a million years could I do that, and I don't try them.
Like what?
I don't know, being in movies. You have to memorize scripts and stuff. It's hard. Or like, in movies, it's like movies is a thing that's hard, like to get somebody to cast you in a movie. Because that's for like a long time. Stand-up, you're just there for like 2 minutes and it's like you're done. Anybody can let you like do 2 minutes.
That is very true. But most people would say they wouldn't do it. Like most people say, there's like that classic saying that people are less afraid of death than they are to actually speak in front of people.
Oh, I was definitely afraid of speaking in front of people. I still am. I don't know, it's one of those, you're either really brave or really stupid or both. I was like, I can do this, it's alright. And then I was like, yeah. That's funny because when I got into stand-up, I was like, I'm gonna try it. It was so easy. I was so nervous my first time, but it actually went quite well. And then I thought, yay! It was like, fritt fall. Riding on free fall because you're standing in line, you're like, oh no, it's so scary, it's so scary, it's so scary, and then you're going up and it's like, so scary, it's so scary, it's so scary, so scary, and then it goes whee, and when you get down you're like, again, and that's what it felt like. So I can see why they call it bungee, but yeah, it was that because I was like, oh, I can't wait to go again, and I forgot where I was going with this story.
Well, getting past that fear, like the
oh yeah. Then I said like, okay, I'm gonna do this until I'm no longer afraid. But that moment never came. It was still like my heart was literally jumping out of my chest like every. I actually got other people to feel. It's like, feel my heart. It's like, oh my god, what is going? Are you okay? All that happened. So yeah, that moment never came.
So I think that's interesting because I've met I'm not saying this to brag. Like I rarely feel nervous before I do a set. It depends. Like if I'm getting paid to perform, maybe it's like a longer set or I'm someplace I've never been before, I'll get the butterflies. But usually I'm not nervous. And I'm not saying it as a brag. It's just I'm just not.
Good for you.
Yeah. I guess, but people also say like, oh, but that helps if you're nervous, it helps your energy. But I think it's very interesting because I've met comics who have way more experience than I do. And yet they're still really nervous before even like a open mic set. I'm not quite sure why.
Well, I don't know. It was a psychosomatic thing. I couldn't help it. I just got nervous. It didn't matter if I was like, okay, breathe. It's gonna be okay. You're doing the same set you're always doing. It's like, no, doesn't matter. So going up in this freaking game.
So, but you started with a bungee comedy, and that's how I started.
No, actually, my first time was at Big Ben. And that's because, I signed up for bungee. That was the first thing I did. Because I put up on Facebook like, hey, does anybody know any open mics? And then somebody scored bungee. No, I Googled bungee. Nobody actually told me bungee. Okay. I Googled bungee and I was like, oh, sign up here. So I signed up. And then somebody actually told me about Big Ben. And I didn't know you weren't allowed to you had to like not have any experience with the bungee. So I actually went once and did Big Ben before bungee. And
just to back up for a minute, so bungee, for people who don't know, was a way for, as you said, people who have never performed before to get started, and it was a contest, it was a competition. So you did 3 minutes on stage, and eventually they'll pick a winner, and that's how I started the same way. But I didn't know what bungee was. Did you say you Googled bungee, or did you? No, I Googled like open mics, and then bungee was like first hit. So okay. I guess their SEO did something right. So yeah. It was the same for me. I wanted to start, and I did exactly the same thing. I just Googled clubs, and that popped up. Yep. So that was the year after me. Were you in the same bungee as my wife? As my wife Eva? Okay. Yes. And see, I don't remember that. No offense, I don't remember. I remember that because you came up to me. I think that's what, and you're like, "Oh, you're new," or first. I don't remember. Oh, that's my wife there, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Well, I'd probably seen you perform and thought you were funny. No, I don't think that's. I really don't think that's on that one. Yeah. No, it's funny because I have like I don't remember meeting most people in stand-up.
I'm just like, oh, how the first people just like spawn. Like, it's like, oh, I have known them for. When did I meet this person?
Yeah, so you sort of get them by osmosis. So
Exactly.
They're suddenly a part of your life. Like, oh, okay, you always were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many people I just don't remember. Name any names, but like in stand-up particularly, because I remember meeting everyone else, like how I'm all my other friends, but they're not stand-up people. They just kind of materialized one day. They're just like it's like that Rick and Morty episode,
Which one?
with those parasites, where they're like, you know, the Mr. Penn Sylvester.
Oh, yeah.
That one, And it's just like, what are you talking about? He was always there, remember? Like, and they were like implanting memory in people's brains. Like, that's
a good way to essentially break the comparison.
Yeah.
A problem that I have, and it's really common, but it still bothers me, is that if I see someone like brand new, like at a nightclub, and I see someone I've never seen before, and I don't go talk to them, but if I see them on stage and they're actually funny, then I'll want to actually talk to them. If they're not funny, I definitely will not want to talk to them. I know it's like, it feels kind of shitty though. I should just talk to everyone. That's but
I'm very different like that. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Ever.
Not funny, not funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you started with bungee.
Mm-hmm. I did not win that. I actually was, because as I remember it, some people got handpicked to go directly to the finale, and some people had to go to that semi-something. Everyone else who didn't get to this direct to the finale, they had another shot. I never went to that, so I didn't get picked for the finale, but I never went to that, so I just dropped out.
Oh really? You dropped out completely?
I dropped out completely from bungee. No, but I found Big Ben, and I was like, I just wanted an open mic. I didn't want like a contest. What? Yeah.
Well, more or less the same way. I didn't care about the contest part of it. I really just wanted to start. But once I was in it, then I wanted to do well.
I didn't, because I was like, oh, I can just go to Big Ben. Okay. I have to go to this bunch. And I get 5 minutes and not 3. All right.
Yeah, I also did not get picked. Like I said, because one person from each heat would get picked to go straight to the final.
I just ran 1 or 2.
And I didn't. Well, after my first set, I was not one of those picked, so I had to go to a semifinal, and I beat that, and then I got to the final. It was like 16 of us, I think. It was a big group.
Yeah.
And there was a clear, they clearly named number 1, clearly named number 2, and all the rest of us tied for 3rd. So I tied for 3rd. Which again I didn't care about, but then the year later when my wife Ava went through bungee, she got 2nd place. So from the start she was just officially better and funnier than I was. But thank God she didn't win, because exactly. Okay, but you dropped out, so I must have met you.
You met me first time at bungee. My first time. But my first and only time at bungee. And then we probably met at Big Ben later.
Yeah, so maybe, but
it was probably like, you're from whatever.
If I met you at bungee, then you must have been in Ava's group. Ava's first.
I was in Ava's group. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I didn't realize I didn't remember you dropping out though.
You didn't realize I wasn't there anymore. You just thought I didn't get.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have met again, because Eva went straight to the finale. I would have gone, if I had continued, I would have gone to the semis. But you would not have gone to the semis, because Eva wouldn't be there, because she went straight to the finale.
No, but then
so I could have just lost in the semis and never gotten to the finale, which is probably what you thought happened. But I eliminated myself by never actually going to the semis.
My point is that my memory is so blank. As far as I know, you were actually in the same final as Ava.
I wasn't in the final.
Okay,
just in the first round.
It's good that we talked.
That's why you don't remember it, because that's not how it happened.
I see.
Because
But I do have memories of you at Big Ben for sure.
Yes.
Usually with a glass of wine in your hand.
Oh yeah. Yes, the liquid courage.
Did you feel like it was necessary before?
Not necessary, but it was nice. It was like, I don't know. I mean, I like wine. It was part of the appeal. I was like, wait, I get to drink on a weeknight? I get to have a glass of wine. That's nice. And you know, you can't get too drunk because you gotta go to work the day after, so it's like perfect.
Yeah.
So you just like you pacing, you like stop when you're supposed to. Like, oh, no, you gotta go home now.
But I'm curious though why the competition didn't interest you as much, because you are a competitive person.
What are you kidding? You don't know me at all.
Well, you used to be.
Wait, what do you?
With martial arts,
Yeah, that was also something I didn't want to do, and somebody forced me to do. Because my coach was like, "You should compete," and I was like, "If that's what you want me to do, then I will do it." I hated it.
But you did it for how long did you do that for?
I'm not a couple of years.
Just a few years. Okay.
Yeah, I have like under 10 fights. I think I have 6 or 7 fights.
But how long have you trained?
Oh, I trained forever. I trained for like 10 years maybe.
But so you trained for a long time before you got into competitions?
No, I probably trained for like, because I trained kickboxing or Muay Thai for like 2 years before I did my first competition. But the goal was never to start competing. I was kind of, I wouldn't say forced, but it's like, it's like, but your technique is so good, you should try competing. And it felt like a logical next step, but I just didn't not like enjoy it at all. It was just like, oh no, I used to enjoy this. What am I doing? I thought I'd enjoy it, like, because, I watch a lot of UFC and stuff like that. And, the fighter life is so glamorous. And you're like, oh, I wish I was a fighter. Minus the fighting part. Because I love training. I was like, I could train all day, every day. If I never had to fight. If people could just... if I could be one of those Instagram fitness people. Just like, just punching pads and wearing like tight pants. I don't know. So one of those Instagram ass models, but like on the fighting. I could totally do it. As long as I didn't have to fight.
Detecting a theme here. So like you want the end goal without the work to get there.
No, I mean, I will train, I do that now. I love training Muay Thai. I hate competing. I guess you could, it's not completely self-contradictory with a stand-up, because I liked stand-up, I just didn't want to compete in it.
Yeah, well that makes absolute sense.
Yes.
Okay. See?
You're a competitive person. Yeah. I mean, I'm competitive in the sense that I hate losing. Just being a sore loser means you're a good competitor.
Well, did you think stand-up was competitive at all? Like, did you find?
It could be if you wanted it to be, but it's also like, I mean, it's not a competitive, it's more like you compare yourself to other people. Like, it's not a competition, but you're kind of like, oh, I wish I was as good as blah. And it's a good thing if it makes you want to go home and write or something. And it's a bad thing if you're like, I'm never going to be as good as blah. Because then that just want to make you like give up and never try again.
Yeah, there are a few comics that like I get angry watching them because they're so good. I have the same thing, like I'm never gonna be that. I'm never gonna get to that level. Like, just happy with yourself,
but it's exactly. It's like, why even try?
It's just easier just to give up.
Trying is the first step to failure. So, yeah.
So you thought, but you initially thought that sample was going to be very, very easy, and then you found that it wasn't. Like what?
No, but the thing is, what I saw, and I think like legitimately, that's what I think. Because I mean, it's not like I always thought all stand-up was fun. It was on the contrary. I was like, why are people laughing? It's not funny. I can do this. Because most stand-up is not funny to me. So I thought I can, because I thought you just said something and then you paused and people would laugh. That's what it felt like. But yeah, now I know that's not the case. I mean, it could be. I mean, timing is definitely very important. But yeah. But I was never like one of never really got the intricacies that went into it and everything, I didn't get that far. Perfecting the craft,
But you made it fairly far.
Yeah.
Into stand-up anyway.
Yeah,
right?
Because the scene is tiny and it's like, if you're a woman, gonna ruffle a few feathers. But I felt like it was easier to get spots. I really did. It was like, okay, sure, it's a girl. I don't know, maybe it's different now. Maybe it's like 50-50 now. I don't know. Maybe it's more women than guys.
There's other women on the scene, but it's still overwhelmingly male.
Yeah.
That's out there. But I've heard comics complain about women, like male comics complain about women in comedy, saying, "Oh, it's much easier for them because
they are sexist." No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just felt like it's not. I don't know. It's not like I had a super majestic career, but I felt like it was. If I wanted a spot, I could just get one easier. Maybe it's because I had friends. I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with gender, but I felt like I could always ask for it. So I'd always get one. Except for that stupid booking system Big Ben had. Online. It was so stupid. Sorry. Okay. No, but I mean it was good also, but it was also like, oh, the first spot is in 3 months. Okay, I can wait 3 months, you know. But then it's like, oh, does anybody want to perform tonight? Because, you know, people would sign up and they just not come. So...
Yeah, so I'll pause here just to give a bit of background for anyone who doesn't know. So Big Ben, so like you got your start there at Bungie. I was the same way.
And it's a great club. I'm super good.
I was the same way. I started Bungie, and Big Ben was where I really cut my teeth and really started going. And for you and for me, when we started, it was you either had to contact the owner for a spot, or you had to show up and just hope for the best. And then some years ago, they released this online booking system where you can book yourself online rather than trying to email the owner or going there hoping for a spot.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like about it. The actual booking system was fine. I didn't like that you had to rate people.
So every time you log in, you have to vote on 3 comics and vote on how
minimum 3. You can keep voting.
Yeah, keep voting forever and evaluate at least 3 random comics.
Yeah, that you've probably never seen, but thankfully there was an option to skip, I think.
No.
There wasn't. Okay, so you had to rate a guy I've never seen before. So it was like a rookie, boo. But that would actually didn't that influence what you could and couldn't book in the system as well?
Yeah, you'll get a overall rating yourself, whether what level you are.
Rookie, strong rookie.
Yeah, so rookie. So it's
support.
Don't know. Actually, there is a skip now because there is a don't know. Okay. But yeah. Rookie,
yeah, that was a weak rookie. That was the worst.
That's what I was gonna tell a story. Because the owner of the club actually, he asked me to help him tweak the system when he first released it, and when it first released, the order was don't know, weak rookie, weak support.
No, there was a strong rookie. Oh, you tweaked
that. Yeah, everything was the way it was weak first. So it was weak, regular. But then it got to weak headliner, and weak superstar. Superstar was the last one. But I thought, okay, is that a sarcastic evaluation? If they say oh, this person's a superstar, but they're pretty weak. I told him about that. But yeah, so he changed it, so it became instead he got rid of the weak and it became rookie, strong rookie.
Yeah.
And then superstar, strong superstar. But I would have loved at some point in my career to have the weak superstar rating.
Super weak superstar. That's what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, but based on that rating, that determines how many times you can book yourself in a month. So right now I have a support level, which means I can book myself at Big Ben once per month.
Yeah.
Some people can book themselves once every 3 months based on the rating.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, basically what it came down to, you didn't want to log into the system because you didn't want to see your rating. You're like, I was support last week. I'm feeling good. Let's hope nobody came and ruined that. Yeah.
But when you first started going to Big Ben and getting spots, how disciplined did you feel like you were? Were you going often?
No, but the thing is, I wasn't doing it that often, but I always showed up. If I said I'd come, I never actually skipped. I never stood anyone up, and I never canceled last minute. But I was okay, if I said I'm gonna show up, then I always came. But yeah, I don't know, maybe every other week at the most I did.
So you were always booked in advance then?
I always booked in advance. I never just showed up, and I'm never I feel like doing that. I had to prepare. I always had to know, because if I booked myself, then I was okay, I can prepare that the same day that I booked myself. Because I've been to places when it's like, you're just there to watch, and it's like, hey, you want to go up? No, I really don't. I'm not in that mind frame right now.
But how'd you start there? Like, how'd you?
What?
At Big Ben, how'd you your first spot then at Big Ben? Like, how'd you actually get booked in the first place?
I went. I don't remember. Oh my god! No, I went there to watch, and then I think I talked to somebody, and I asked, "Can I perform?" And they let. But later, I mean, I booked in advance. I'm pretty sure.
So that's interesting because when I first started going, I would just I'd never booked in advance. I would just show up, ask for a spot, and I went at least 2 nights a week, asking for spots, usually getting no, and I would talk to the owner who would tell me, "Oh, just email me when you want to perform," and he just never responded to my emails.
Maybe it was an email. Maybe I emailed. I did something, but it was in advance. I booked my spot.
Well, it took me about 4 months of going to every show before he finally actually answered my emails.
No, yeah. No, I didn't have that problem.
Sure, it's because you were funnier than I was.
Yes. Must have been why. Yeah. But maybe it was because I was less desperate, right? It's like, I could take it or leave it. It's like, can I perform? It's like, no, okay. I don't need it. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Just joking. Yeah.
So you weren't so you were active, but you weren't like grinding, like you weren't going to like clubs begging for spots or none of that.
Do I look like somebody who needs to? No, I never. I don't know. It's like I thought of it as a hobby, and I wasn't gonna because it's like I was getting paid, or it was like I mean, the deal was, it's like, oh, can I have a spot? And it was like, the deal was like, you got a spot, and then you just have to show up and do your best, But they know what they like, So I felt like I wasn't overselling myself in any capacity, so that was all. Yeah. It was a hobby. And I felt like, hey, if they don't want me to perform, then I don't, like, I thought it was like kind of, they want people to sign up, and people want to perform. Like they trade stage time for free time.
Did you have any like ambition? Like, did you see yourself like working towards like longer sets or more clubs to perform at?
No, not when since I started. I had like, I don't even know. I was so, because I didn't really have an ambition. That's the short answer. No, I thought before I started, I was like, I can be a famous comedian. But when I started, I was like, no, too much. I mean, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was definitely character building. Yeah, it was like, I got a good, I'm not gonna like, oh, I never got like, I got good laughs, but it was never like strong superstar laughs. It was like, for what I put into it, I got back. Like, so it wasn't like I was, just eating ass like every time it was fine. I got mostly the response that I was looking for, mostly.
Okay.
And then I found like the shtick that worked, the whole Russian shtick that never failed me for as long as I did that. So I mean, it was secure laugh, but it wasn't like risk taking or anything.
But I remember you did that. I remember you doing it once. I'm not sure if you did it again, where you actually went on stage in like a pure Russian character. Did you do that more than once?
In the pure Russian, wasn't that the night that Crossfire died? That one time. Yeah, I've only done that one. I think, if that's what you mean. When I was wearing a wig.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was that. I never did that.
Okay.
Before or after. As it turns out, thankfully so. We would have shut down more clubs. I
forgot the name you went on as.
Yeah, I forgot. It was like Svetlana or something. It was like something super. Or maybe Olga. Or no, wait, wasn't I like, didn't I pretend to be American? Wasn't I like Mary Lou something, and then why it was like, aha, no, actually I'm secretly a Russian spy or something.
Yeah, actually I think you're right.
Yeah. So I actually was undercover because it was an American night. That's what.
You're right.
Yeah, so
I
I
remember
was Sue Ellen or something.
That's right, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that was Sue Ellen. Big Dallas reference.
Yeah. Exactly. That's who I was. And
So you performed for a while, so you kind of coasted along, performed for a while, and then you said you took a pause, right?
Yeah, I took a pause. I don't remember why. It was more like, I don't know. Didn't feel like I had time. As this was a hobby, I had prioritized other things, like training, Muay Thai. Yeah, I don't think I ever competed in Muay Thai and did stand-up at the same time. I think they kind of went around each other.
Okay.
So it was probably in my, probably took a break because I was competing in something else. And then I came back.
When you took that first break, did you think of it as a break,
No, I didn't even notice I took it, to be honest. I was just like, oh, I don't have time this week. Oh, I don't have time this week. Oh, I don't have time this week. And then like that.
So you came back though after taking a break.
Yes.
A very conscious break. Did you feel any different when you came back? Did you feel the scene was different, that you were different?
I felt like I was a bit different, sure. And I think that's where the Russian was born, really, truly reborn, that character. Because I didn't even remember the first time around what I did. I was kind of all over the place, really. I didn't have I wouldn't say I found my voice even later, but it was really, it was like, oh, this is a joke, and this is a joke, and I was like, tick, tick, tick. But the second time I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do these types of jokes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then eventually you found yourself at Raw, which is one of the two biggest clubs in the country.
Yeah, that was fun.
And you did it twice.
I don't know how or why that happened. No, I did that. Yeah, it actually went quite well both times.
Well, I remember why it happened because it's good for my ego. You performed at my club, and the owner of Raw was there and saw you and got a spot. So I take a bit of credit for that.
Thank you, Ryan. That was
and that's the only reason why I was here. So thanks, good night.
Yeah.
Just one of that, thanks. But you got to be there twice. I was there once. You got to be there twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you stopped. It's like you reached a point.
No, I did some gig. I told you my last one was after Raw, but I don't remember where. And then I stopped.
Yeah, so you reached this point that most comics would give their left arm for.
Yeah.
And then you just stopped.
Yeah, because I reached the point. I've done it. Plus, I was so nervous. Yeah, and I was like, God damn, I don't want to die of high blood pressure. I really don't. And so that's what was going on. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't think this was gonna be my career, and I really I wasn't bad, but I wasn't a superstar, and I felt I don't wanna do something okay. I felt like if I was gonna do this now, then it was gonna have to be give it my all and everything. And I couldn't do that with stand-up.
But why is that though? Because you said, your attitude towards comedy was, it's a hobby, and I'm not going to put that much into it.
Yeah, but once you get to Raw, it's kind of how much further are you going to? It's only downhill from there if if not really going to pursue it, which I wasn't going to. So I was at a crossroads.
But I mean, as a hobby though, it's a hobby. You do it now and then. You enjoy doing it. Why just? Stop.
But I feel like it's the same. It's like with fighting, there's a time span after which you can do it. It's kind of it has a shelf life with this hobby as well. It's not, it's because for me it was kind of nerve wracking, and I'd get super nervous, so it would take something out of me. So I felt like I probably couldn't do this my whole life because I got so nervous.
Like fighting, you're afraid of brain damage.
Yeah, fighting, they say if you start fighting professionally, you have 10 good years and then you retire. Nobody fights until their 60s or whatever, of other reasons, but because you take damage. And I feel like when you stand up, you take psychological damage, so you can't like, or you don't. But I felt like I did, so I felt like, yeah, I can't keep that. Yeah, maybe once, you come back. Yeah, so if I do come back, I'll officially be the McGregor of retiring from the stand-up.
Pull up to the club in a yacht.
No, it's just like, oh, I retire. No, wait, I'm back. No, I retire again. No. But yeah.
Is there anything you miss from the scene that you're...
Anything I miss from the scene? It was fun hanging out with people, I guess. Yeah. No, it was a cool hobby to have, like, and yeah. And then you're like, I do stand up. And people are like, oh, you're so brave. I do not miss that part at all.
It's the last thing anyone ever want to hear. Like,
yeah.
My God, you're so brave. I could never go on stage and eat shit like you can. Wow, you're so brave.
Yeah, just by the shovel, man. Like, no.
But still, I mean, you must. Obviously, you're a creative person. I mean, you have to be to do stand up. You may not think so, but you have to be creative. But you also have to have something wrong with you because you're looking for approval from drunk strangers.
Yeah.
But you're not getting that now. So, what happened to that need? Like, do you satisfy it in some other way today?
Yes, therapy. I go to. No, I don't. I don't know. I never really felt like it was about approval from drunk strangers. It was about having something to do. First it was about trying something new, and then it was about kind of trying to get better at it. And yeah, socializing, and trying to get better at it, realizing you're not getting better at it. Yeah.
But that realization when you say you're not getting better at it, that is very much your self-evaluation.
Yes.
Though. And clearly if gigs are being handed to you and you get raw.
Yeah, but nobody was like, oh, please come perform, I will pay you $1 million. Like, it was kind of like...
Maybe not at that level, but still you got to raw. Maybe you still earned that.
Yeah.
So you were getting better.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
or it was an accident. I don't know. Maybe I just had like a really good night that night, and it was like that. And actually,
But you're selling yourself short because when you, like you said, when you first started, almost 10 years ago in Bungee, you didn't make it past the first heat.
Yeah, because the judges, they didn't like me. I don't know. It's also about who people like different humor. So
do you think it was just as likely that you could have been handed raw at the very beginning?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So
but really it's because I didn't do the Russian persona. I think if I did the Russian persona in Bungee, I probably would have gone further. Maybe.
You're a tough critic.
What?
You're a tough critic on yourself.
Just being realistic.
But I also know from past conversations, though, that you were also very tired of your material.
Yes.
Even though it's clearly new for 99% of the audience that's going to see you. But you were pretty tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I would do something like 3 times, I'd be like, I need something new.
Well, where do you think that comes from? Because I know comics who've been doing the same material for over 10 years. Like the sets can be like just beat for beat, word for word, exactly the same. And they don't change, or they're happy with just doing that.
Yeah, I can say like this. I like singing karaoke a lot. I never sang the same song twice.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not much of a singer, so I have like my one song that I do when I do karaoke, which is I've done like 5 times in my life. But
I don't do that because I'm like, I've done that, I need to try something else.
Mm-hmm. So where does that come from then? Like, well, why that need to always change?
Well, because it's boring. I'm bored on stage saying the same crap. Like, I'm trying to make myself laugh as well with my own material. Because once you've heard the joke several times, you're like, it's not funny. Why did I think this was funny? Oh God, it's not funny. This is so boring. Nobody's gonna laugh at this. It's not funny. So it's like when they laugh, like, okay, ooh, got away with it this time, but next time they're definitely not gonna laugh because this shit is not funny. Yeah.
Yeah, there is actually a very common risk in comedy where a comic does the same, like you said, the comic does the material so often that it's not funny to them at all anymore, but it still works. And then the comic ends up hating the audience. Like, what's wrong with you? This is not funny. Why are you laughing at this?
Never hated the audience. I thought the audience, I mean, this business would be nowhere without the audience. It's like the most important thing.
Yeah, I've never hated the audience, but there have been times when I know I can just go on stage and just say a Swedish word. Before in English, I can just say a word in Swedish
you
and get a
can,
laugh.
because you're American. If I do it, people will be like, eh.
But I honestly forget that. Did you always perform in English?
I think I performed in Swedish like 2 or 3 times in my life.
And why is that?
But with the Russian thing, it really didn't. No, but it has to do with, I mean, I was more comfortable with English. Like, when I moved to Sweden, I went to an English school. And I spoke English with all my friends. I speak English with, like, my brother, for example. I just grew up with English. And, if, like, nobody likes to think that, but, we all plagiarize a little. So, you're funnier and because, you watch, like, I don't know, movies and stuff, and you get lines from there, and you're like, but that's funny. So I don't know how to be funny in Swedish, like in the same way. I don't have the same, way with words.
But in that case, then you're really the same boat as I am. Like there's no reason why you couldn't do what many expat comics do, which is speak mostly Swedish. You like an all English night, and all the English comics are speaking Swedish, which drives me crazy. But why couldn't you do, like you said, like you say that I could do it, that I can go on stage?
No, you could say a Swedish word and people would laugh at it. I'm not saying you could do a whole Swedish act, because people would be, I think they'd be confused.
Pardon me, but I have performed only in Swedish several times,
but then people are
in
like,
fact, I've done more than you, so...
Yeah, that's good for you, try. Check yourself before. And I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like... Yeah, I could have done it in Swedish too, but I felt like I didn't have I could not have done my Russian Mafia jokes in Swedish. That would not have worked. So the later me had to be in English. But the earlier me could have been in Swedish, but I felt like, I can't express myself as fluently. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it felt.
Okay.
Because I think in English, and it's like, wow, really? But yeah, often I do.
Have you ever thought of a set in Russian? Like, you actually...
No, never. That's something that's never ever happened. I actually watched some Russian stand-up on YouTube. It's pretty good. But I'm like, I could never do that.
I just imagine, when I hear Russian stand-up, I just imagine like someone on stage and while there's like polar bears riding on bicycles in the background and car crashes and
that's what
all things happening at the same time.
Yeah, the Russian cyberpunk. No, it's pretty modern, and they really like embrace that whole comedy club thing. And it's good, but I couldn't do it because they do like, the figures of speech and the witty stuff in Russian that I don't know how to do because my Russian development stalled since I quit Russian school when I was 16. I graduated because I went to Russian school once a week when I moved here. Parallel with the Swedish school or English school.
I'm curious, what language do you think in?
English mostly. But sometimes in Russian, but it's like what I'm thinking about. Like if I'm watching something, like if I'm listening to Russian, then maybe I'll start thinking a bit in Russian. But I actually thought about it, like, I don't think I think at all. I think things just like...
And there's our clip for this episode.
Wait, you guys think in words? I think in like, grunts.
Yeah, I obviously think in English myself. I've been here since 2006.
I think in English. I could be wrong. But I think in like impulsive. Like,
like a cat.
Go
just images like food.
Exactly.
Wine.
Cats don't do that. Wine. Let's see that.
I've had dreams where I'll dream in Swedish sometimes. I'm speaking Swedish and I'm perfect and fluent. But I'm sure it's just that I think that in the dream. I imagine it actually was a recording of my dream in Swedish would not be very good at all.
But have you ever had dreams where you told the perfect joke or thought of the perfect joke?
I don't think I've ever had a stand-up dream, but when I have a new idea, which is often in the shower for some reason, I'll imagine like a new bit or idea, and I can feel myself saying it in my head, and it's like I'm at Globen and it's sold out, and I'm just like perfect and articulate and confident, and the audience loves it. And then I'll write it down, or I'll try saying it out loud, and I just mumble, and I can't get the words out nearly as well. I feel like I'm always chasing that level, like in my head. Because in my level, I'm always 100%. It's perfect and funny and fantastic. And I'm never quite there, but I'm going to keep working for it.
Yeah, because in the dreams, I laugh at my own jokes. I'm like, that's hilarious. I need to remember that when I wake up. And then you wake up and you're like, what? Like everything else in your dream, it makes no sense. It's like, hey, if pigs read books, they would be smart, or something, like something stupid, like something nonsense.
I've had that too. Where I've had instances where I had some idea, like not asleep but awake, I had some idea and thought, oh, I got to write that down so I don't forget it. And then, like a day later, or even much longer later, like going back through notes and find this phrase that referred to something that I thought was amazingly funny, and now it's just what was there? What the hell was I thinking?
Yep, that happens too. Old notes you find. Just write down a phrase like, I'll remember what it's about later, and then you're like, why did I write this down? Yeah.
So other than tragedy,
Tragedy.
What do you think would bring you back to give it a shot again?
Like a bet, or if I lost a bet, or I don't know, or I just went like, fuck it.
Well, would
I don't know, if I thought of like, if somehow a perfect set that I consider like, this is good, because that's what I said like when I quit last time around. I said I will come back once I have a whole new set, because I'm so tired of my set that I've done maybe 4 or 5 times. But I was like, nope, when I have a whole new set, I will come back, and then I just never thought of it. So if that ever happened, that one still stands. But I really haven't figured anything out.
Is there a way, do you think there's a way for you to perform just as a hobby without that? Because you say you have no ambition, but still, I think it drove you was, okay, you want to get better, you want to.
Yeah, I want to get better, and also like, people are like, oh, I'm gonna have they kind of like do this. I mean, they make money off doing stand-up, which is fine if they're good, but if they suck, it's kind of like, well, I don't want to do this shit for free. If people are getting paid to do it as badly as me, then I have to get paid too. But then I was like, I don't want it to turn into that thing, because now I feel like an idiot that's doing it for free. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So money would be a big
but like if you feel like, am I being an idiot now, like just performing for free? It's like, I understand it's like Bill Burr gets paid, or like, I don't know. There's some people, you guys you watch, you're like, damn, he's good, pay him money. I'll give him money right now. But some people are like, really? Gets paid for that? I could probably get paid for that. I should ask for pay. That's like, yeah. No.
So I guess that initial feeling you had when you watched Comedy Central back in the beginning, and you thought, okay, that looks easy, I can do that. But I guess that stayed with you then, because if you can see comics are being paid. Yeah,
but at the same time, I appreciate those guys way more now that I was in Comedy Central, because I'm like, oof. Now I know what goes into that. Like, into the seemingly not funny to you thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a lot of work. So yeah, of course they deserve to get paid. But that's the thing, like, you think you put in work, you deserve to get paid. But then if the work sucks, but do you really deserve to get paid, And that's why I thought, like, that's why I never asked for pay for anything, because I'm like, I wouldn't pay for this. So what right do I have to like ask someone else to pay for this shit if I wouldn't pay for it myself?
I wonder if would there ever be a time that you would be actually so confident in yourself that you would feel like, yes, I am worth being paid.
I don't know if that would happen. I mean, I feel that with my job that I do. I'm like, yeah, pay me. Like I can do this thing that like not. I mean, some other like it's a skill. Like you can't just pick a guy off the street, and be like, here, sit down, do this. You can't do that. But with stand-up, it's like you can pick a guy literally off the street, like, hand him a mic, here, do this, and he might succeed. You don't know. It might work. It depends. Maybe
that's why you should never hand a heckler a microphone. Ever, because there is a very good chance that they actually will do better than you did on stage.
Have you done
Not you particularly.
Have you done it?
No, I would never do that. No, that's my time.
Okay.
It's like you sharing the stage time with someone else.
Yeah.
No, that would never happen.
No, didn't occur to me. I think I got heckled once. I don't know if it was on purpose. Some guy shouted something from the back of the room, and I went, I'm sorry, what? I know, something stupid. I had no comeback at all. I didn't even hear what he said. Didn't say anything after that.
Heckling is pretty rare here.
Yeah.
And usually when they heckle, it's because they're really drunk, so they're just shouting something that's incoherent. You can't really work with it. It's just.
Yeah, but it's still because I remember all it did was like, where was that? Like,
My all-time favorite heckle I've seen in this country wasn't to me. But I was doing a gig, was like an outdoor gig, so we're on this patio outside a restaurant. And the stage was like right next to the way in and out of the patio. So the comic was on stage, and someone just got up and just left. So they had to walk right past the stage. So the comic made it really give the person a really hard time, like saying, "Oh, like, where are you going?" And the person just said, "To go watch some real comedy." And the comic had nothing. He just had no response. The whole crowd just fell apart laughing, and he just, "Oh, wow, that was good. That was a good joke."
Hang yourself with them. Yeah, I don't know. I always thought the crowds here were really nice, super polite.
That's been my experience.
Never got booed off stage or anything like that. The worst thing that happens, which is pretty bad, is that they don't laugh out loud.
Yeah, just smile and nod, or
Yeah, just like patiently wait. But it didn't happen a lot, that either. Yeah. But yeah, when it did.
Doesn't feel great.
But it's this ringing sigh. It's the loudest silence that you'll ever hear. Especially when you open with something that... It's happened to me once, but yeah. When this never fails. It never fails. It never... Holy shit.
It fails.
What do I do now? Like, I don't... They didn't laugh. I was counting off laugh track. Just like, alright, this is gonna be a long hate.
My worst experience, it can happen. It's just be mid-sentence and look out in the audience and just see someone yawning. Just like I haven't gotten...
But that could be, if it's just one person, I mean, that could be like, yeah, I understand it can be like bad, but you don't know, like, that person could really be tired.
Yeah.
I have yawned myself at things that I wasn't bored at. It was like, I'm super tired. So yeah, but I understand it can be. But if you, I think one worse thing than that would be looking up at the crowd and everybody's like, that's that. Snoring instead of laughter.
I don't think I haven't had that myself, but I've been at clubs where someone was just drunk or tired, wherever it was, and they just passed out, even in the front row. That's always a good sign for the comic.
Oof. Yeah, that is a good sign. But yeah, I feel like, what do they say about, I mean, there's a lot of comedians who just don't live a very long life due to alcoholism. Yeah, I feel like, it could easily be me as well,
Yeah, well, it is very common, but I mean, you have to be a certain kind of broken to do stand-up.
Yeah, but I'm not broke. I am not broke. No. No, I just read something in the newspaper. It said that comedians don't live as long as other professions. Something about comedians specifically. It's not like actors or entertainers, like singers. It's comedians specific. I'm like, what's so special about comedians?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's because we have that. I mean, everyone, of course, everyone likes to say things that are funny and be.
Yeah, but that's
be
the
appreciated.
thing. It's like everybody thinks they're funny. Like nobody thinks they're not funny.
Well, plenty of people think they're not funny enough to be on stage, though.
No, I mean they still think they're funny. They just don't like being on stage. But they think they're nobody. I'm telling you, just like the same way nobody thinks they're ugly, is nobody thinks that they're not funny. There's no like boring people united, you know. Yeah, you're boring. I'm boring too. Yes, I'm not funny. You're not funny. I have no sense of humor. Like everybody thinks they're funny. So you're like, am I one of those people who just thinks they're funny? Maybe.
You go on stage and find out.
Yeah. Or, but not really, because, you know, when people are laughing, you're thinking like, pity laughs. They pity you. You know? But then sometimes if you've been to those gigs, it's like you can cut the, like people are bombing and it feels like there's this cringy moment and you just feel so sorry for the person on stage. And you're just waiting for them to say something. Just pause so you can go, you know. So people are really willing to, you know, extend an olive branch. And just like, I want to laugh, please.
Well, the worst is seeing a comic eat complete shit on stage, and then they come off stage and they're just like, yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
This is my house.
I've never seen that myself.
Oh, I've seen that so many times.
Mm-hmm.
But I really try to not lie as much as I can. Like if I see someone who did not do well and they come to me with that, like, how was I, Daddy? Like I try to avoid saying, "Oh, you good job." But that's also
that's
hard
what
too.
You say. You're very brave.
Exactly. I'm very, very brave. Or how did you think it went? I just try to turn them around.
Yeah.
Well, I think we wrap things up. So. We told a few war stories. This is the one thing I miss the most about like seeing comics on a regular basis, just hanging out, is that telling war stories and exchanging at the end. So I thought, so I asked you before, have something in mind, so I thought we could tell each other a war story. I don't know if you want to go first or if I should go.
You can go first.
Okay. Well, we were talking about bungee before, so I thought I could tell my bungee experience. Because my first time to go, I had to write 3 minutes set. I've never been on stage before ever. But I've been watching comedy since I was 11, so I was really into it, and I wrote a 3-minute set and timed it out perfectly, and most of the bit was about Match.com, because I met my wife on Match. So I had this whole experience. I noticed a trend when I was looking online. With the Match, you could list exactly what characteristics you want in a mate, like specifically like height, weights, income, if they have kids, do they want kids. I noticed a trend, like every woman I saw on there under 30, it said, do you want kids? And there's a lot of yeses, but there's even a lot of like, no, I don't, or maybe. But then after age 30, it was almost always like, yes, always yes. So I thought, okay, I have a killer joke that I'm going to close with. And then I talk about how the difference, and say, under 30, do you want kids? They said, oh, maybe, no. And then after 30, it was, yes! I really like went for it on stage and just like thought, this is going to bring my house down. And I did like all right. It was okay. My first set, then I got to that point where like, just said, yes! And just complete silence from the room, except for one woman in like the back of the room. I just heard her clearly go, ugh. It was just, thanks, my name's Ryan.
Yeah,
and I did not go to the final.
And strong.
Yes.
You didn't go to the final.
No, I didn't go directly to the final. So I had to go to a semi.
Okay. Because I thought earlier you said you went to the final.
Eventually I did. But that was interesting too, because I mean, we were all so new that night. So we had like a nice hang before, and a really nice hang after. Like everyone was like, oh, like we were all so excited. Did not go to the final, but I went to the semifinal. And it was the same thing. When I showed up, all the comics were like really excited and like go. And at the end, a few of us got picked to go to the final, and the rest were done. And after that night, everyone was like left, was like dejected and sad, and it's like, oh, but what happened to that nice feeling? Oh, okay.
It's over, man. You lost, you're gone. Because at least in this when you go to the semifinals, like there's still hope.
Yeah.
There's a glimmer of hope. I might go through to the finals. I'm not going through to the final. Yeah. Is it my turn?
It's your turn, yes.
Oh, yes. No, I only can think of one really bad experience where I told you about this one before. It was a taco bar in Uppsala. It wasn't like a full house to begin with, and there was there was a family with kids and then some other people, so it was like, oh, great. And I actually had like more time than usual this time, and I was gonna be on in the second half. I was like, yeah, alright, more time. And then it started in the first half, and I noticed that the audience was not laughing at all. They were just smiling. Maybe. I couldn't even see. I only saw them smiling, like, mostly from where I was sitting, it looked like they were just sitting there, like, quietly. And then I thought, oh, well, they don't like it. They'll leave in the break. Good. But they did not leave in the break. So then it was my turn to go up, and I opened with that joke that never fails, and nothing. And then I felt the cold sweat drip down my back, and I looked at them, and they were like smiling, so they're like, yeah, but I'm just like, oh no, this is terrible. So I don't remember, I don't think I did all my time, because I couldn't wait to get out of there like fast enough. And it was a very quiet ride home on the train, because everybody was just like, yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was bad, but I mean, it was, yeah, it is what it is.
I want to know what is the evolutionary use or background for the flop sweat, the back. I've had sex where it's like I already know it's going badly, and then I can just feel it dripping down my back. It's like I know.
Yeah, but I don't normally feel the sweat drip, but it was like the time I felt it. And it was just like, yeah, it did not get better. I think I got like once, and that's it. Like the whole set, it was just like people just sat and listened.
At least
and I'm like, I don't think you guys know. Yeah, exactly. But it would have been better if they just left in the first half. But they were done eating. I don't know why they were still there. It's like, I don't know.
It's like a car crash.
Just look away. Stare. I'll go away and see how this turns out. Yeah.
But did anyone do well that night?
No, not really.
Okay. That actually is reassuring. There's been nights when I bombed and other comics didn't do well either. And
I don't know. I mean, I think it was. I don't remember who was on after me. That person, I feel like in my perception, that person did better than me. Like, but not by a lot, because But it was a little bit more, So I thought like, yeah, that was reassuring because I know that person was funny.
Yeah.
And it was really funny.
Yeah, I've had the opposite experience where it was like I bombed, I saw other comics bomb, and it's almost like, oh, okay, well, at least it's just not me. And then some comic goes on and just kills. I was like, oh, okay, well, but all right, it wasn't me.
Yeah. It was me and some other people. No, yeah. But I mean, I totally, someone else might have made it work, I don't know. But I wasn't ready for that. I was prepared for people who wanted to see stand-up, but I don't think, it's always the same when people don't know it's going to be stand-up. And then they find out when they get there it's going to be stand-up. Yeah. It's a special crowd every time. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, please. I was like, wait, what? We came here to talk. And sometimes they just keep talking. Yeah, don't want to badmouth places, but Jesus Christ. Some places, man. It's like, come on, just put the sign outside that says that it's...
I know, to warn... I always
warn people
it's going to be stamped. I always say the same thing. Warn them.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's going to be better if they don't know.
Does it drive you crazy about... Did you ever do a corporate gig?
No.
No. But I remember you being offered one.
Was it?
Yeah, there was one night. I remember there's one night. It was you and Elena Gavitz, who's like the other Russian woman who performs comedy in Stockholm.
Yeah, but they never got like it wasn't a real offer not to me at least. It was more like, oh, you guys do corporate. It was like, it was not a concrete offer, not to me. Anyway.
Okay, I just remember it being like it felt like shady to you. At the time.
Yeah, it was super shady. But it was also like, it wasn't like, oh, you guys want to perform on the blah and blah. It was more like, oh, we run a thing and you guys could perform there. And I was like, yeah, sure. Totally. See you guys. Did you actually give them your real name? Oh my god. They're gonna find out where you live. No, but yeah. No, never did a corporate gig.
I was just going to say before that very often the person arranging it wants it to be a surprise. It's much fun, and it never is. Never is.
Yeah, but I've been at a few corporate events where they have had a comedian perform.
And how'd they go?
It actually went well. I was really surprised. Once it was like at a sort of a not a conference, but more kind of a. It was like an Episerver event, like an all day, like a partner event. It's a bunch of developers and salespeople and stuff. It's a product thing. Anyways, and they invited a comedian, and he started like 9 a.m. He did a few more during the day, but I was just thought, and he actually got laughs, and I thought like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Good job. But yeah, that was weird, like 9 a.m. And now comes It wasn't so many laughs.
Too sober and too early.
Yeah, too sober, too early, and too out of context. Like this is a kind of like a bunch of programmers, you know. And another time was when I was in Norway. They also invited a comedian. But I was sitting way in the back. So I think the guy was actually good, but he was Norwegian. And like I couldn't, his dialect I couldn't understand at all. And I was like, I could follow the whole like build up, and I'm like, yes, I understand what he's saying. This is great. Yes. And then when the punchline comes, everybody laughs, and I'm like, and I did not understand the punchline. Damn it. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, well, sometimes it's good. It just depends how many people. So if it's like 20 people in the company, maybe.
Well, I guess that's it for today. So thanks all for watching.
Oh, yes, thank you very much.
I guess you have nothing to plug because you're not doing anything now. So
nothing to what?
Plug. So no Instagram or
YouTube
no.
Please do not follow me on anything. I have nothing. No socials at all.
Okay. See you next time.
Bye.